Hi foodies, I got some lamb from Costco recently and I just wanted to make something simple, so I did brown stew lamb. So these are lamb loin chops. We're gonna season them nicely and simmer them down. So after I clean it, rinse it, pat dry it, I add some oil. Then I put in some green seasoning. So this is scallion, thyme, onion, all the good stuff. I have the recipe on the channel. All right, I'll leave the link in the description. Then I added some all-purpose seasoning, paprika, some black pepper as well. And if you can, if you want to add salt, you can add salt depending on what type of all-purpose seasoning you use. If you don't want to use all-purpose seasoning, then you could do some lamb seasoning or some meat seasoning just to rub that into the lamb and then let it marinate overnight, ideally. So the next day I put some oil in the pot over medium heat. Once it's hot, I add brown sugar and then this is going to melt into a beautiful caramel that's going to give flavor and color. Once it's nice and melted, it's not black, it's still brown. Then I'm going to just lay the meat in there and you're going to cook them on both sides. If you want to flip them all over, you can, but you can just brown them here and then flip them once. So here we go. That's the kind of color we're looking for. All right, so we'll just flip everything and let them brown on the other sides. At this point, I'm just going to be putting the lid on just to let them sweat a little bit and, get some moisture in there. And you want to do that over low heat. After that, I go in with some fresh garlic, fresh thyme, and then some hot water. And you're going to use a spoon to loosen up any seasoning that might be stuck to the bottom of the pot. You could do this in the oven, but what I'm going to do is simmer it on the stove top. So I put the lid on and I simmered it for about an hour. After an hour, it's almost there, not completely cooked, but it's almost there. Then I'm adding some carrot, scallion, onion, more fresh thyme, some diced bell peppers, and allspice. I also added soy sauce, ketchup, and if you have a Grace fish and meat sauce, you can add that here, but if not, you can add some other sauce that you like to add to your stew. I like to add a whole scotch bonnet. I don't want to cut it up because I just don't want it that spicy. Then just let it simmer until the meat is completely cooked and the gravy is thickened. You can thicken the gravy with some potatoes or you can add a slurry of cornstarch and water. That's it. Once it simmers down and you taste that gravy and it's good to go, you can serve up that delicious brown stew lamb, with some mashed potatoes, ideally, or even rice. This was so good. It really tasted amazing. Everybody enjoyed this. I haven't done this in a while, but I'm happy that I did this. It was so tender and flavorful. One thing you want to remember while doing this is to simmer low and slow and you'll get a beautiful result. Give this a try for dinner one day. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.